We're day drinking. We're day drinking. We're day drinking. Day drinking.
On today's episode.
Whoa, we're not. We don't even know what we're talking about yet.
I don't even know what we're talking about yet.
Fine. We'll
Travis,
just do,
what are you drinking?
we're gonna do that. You asked for this, Drew. We're doing it. This is an episode of day drinking now. It wasn't an episode of day drinking, and then Rick bailed on us. So now it's an episode of day drinking.
It's still daytime. Not
It's
really.
9 o'clock somewhere. Is that the right saying? I'm not sure. Spin-off episode, sister episode where we talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about, but we still start off every episode by saying, hey, what are you drinking, Drew? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a little tequila and soda because it was easy and I had it to hand. What are you drinking, Travis?
I don't know. You tell me. Pick a number 1 through 24.
Holy shit.
We're doing box night.
It's box night, y'all. Let's go for 9.
What are you, German?
9.
What are you, German? Oh no, I'm not. Does my
You
camera?
were frozen.
Okay, but
Just for a second.
the audio was there, right?
I wish I had taken a picture because it looked like
It was doing the little thing.
like you were dabbing. Yeah.
I was dabbing. 9 from the Glenkidam distillery. On the nose, we've got an aromatic and fresh hay, fruit, gentle wood influence with light vanilla and spice. On the palate, it's going to be beautifully balanced with tart fruits, freshly cut hay, and vanilla sweetness. And on the finish, long and gentle as it fades out on barley and malt fruit. I don't think I'm going to like this one.
Malt fruit.
I don't think I'm going to like this one.
Sounds like a barnyard in your mouth.
Sounds like
which I would like.
those guys who just like always have a thing of hay out of their mouth. It's a good color though. It's like a dark. It's not super light, so I like that. But where are you going?
I'm taking my shoes off.
Taking your shoes off? Why were your shoes on anyway?
Here. I just got home and had to do all the things.
That's
You're
right.
still frozen.
I know. I gotta wave in front of the camera until it picks me up. Go. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, smells like a hint of vanilla with all of the other grassy notes that it said. So here we go. Not as awful as I thought it was going to be. I'd give it like a 4 out of 10 just off of it's maybe a 5. There's nothing special about it. Those notes are there, but they're very, very subtle. It's a very easy scotch. It's fine. I won't seek it out, but I'll drink it. I'm not gonna have to power through this one either. Like it's fine. It's just another way of putting alcohol into my body.
I think you would benefit from a little ice in some of the ones you don't like.
Oh, for sure. Or just a drop of water.
I also think that we should next year get one of these for each of us. And have all, like, I would especially love Rick's take on some of the finer whiskeys or not finer whiskeys as compared to you, me, and Ben's. But we have to give Ben a time limit of like 45 seconds.
Yeah, for sure. Under a minute. We'll say 45 seconds. I love you, Ben. We're going to say 45 seconds knowing you're going to take an extra 15.
Yeah, minutes.
What? Another thing you just said when you said we each do our own. I was thinking when you said that we each do our own and then give it to another one. Like we each make our own advent calendars for each other, basically.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
And then we give it, but sometimes it's got to be like a slip of paper with that just says like Blue Moon in it. Like there's no way to get Blue Moon from the bottle into one of these tiny little tasters. There is, but not like that will stay for months.
It would be fun because at least a couple of the bottle shops near me have just a bajillion of the airplane bottles. And even some of the nicer stuff. So like,
but they're not going to keep for when Rick puts Modelo in all of them.
No, I'm not talking
going
about
to keep.
Not beer, but like just liquor in general.
Yeah.
Because then we could do like one of them could be Mad Dog 2020, and then the other one could be, you know,
Fireball.
Gentleman Jack, and then go up to like Woodford or Glenmorangie or something like that.
Yeah.
But set a limit of like, $40 or something like that, and that's our gift to each other for the year.
That's a lot though, because especially if it's 24, like you have to have 24
We could
different,
limit it to we could, how about
like
this
12.
for, yeah, and then we do one a month. We do one episode a month where
Or
the first episode or first segment of the episode is our tasting through.
we could do that, or we could just have one person every episode and just rotate.
That makes
Yeah.
also sense.
Either way,
Stop
idea.
making sense, Travis.
That's what I do. I don't know how else to.
Damn it.
This is I have an idea. You expand on it in a really, really awesome way, and then I take it back and make it into like a full picture. That's just what happens. I do have one thing I want to talk to you about. What is
Yep.
this? Oh yeah, here we go. I have this. So I this is how nerdy I'm starting to get. For those of you who are listening and don't know, I am 35, which means in 5 years I will be
Friggin'
having
old.
my 40th birthday. And this is what I plan on doing for my 40th birthday. I don't think this is the right one. I think this is the one ChatGPT did.
I'm not gonna tell you what I'm doing for my 40th birthday. You guys are gonna find out.
Can you see?
Hold on, it's real small. I turned off the thing where it automatically takes over my screen. Yeah, that's a
It's a
picture of
map.
Scotland.
It's a map of Scotland. There
That's a
are
map. That's a map. That's a
it's a
map.
map.
That's a
It's a
map.
map. It's a map. It's a map. It's a map. This is a map of distilleries, popular distilleries in Scotland. Some of them are labeled, some of them aren't. I've already started to try to map out a general course of how I'm going to spend my 40th birthday and how many days I'm going to spend there and which distilleries I'm going to hit. I think that I'm trying to like group the ones together that make sense because it's not a huge country, but it's there's not like a highway that runs all the way through that you can get to top to bottom in like 3 hours. There's just a bunch of
But
windy
it's so
roads.
pretty. Why would you want to?
No, I agree. So it's like I want if I'm going to the Highlands, I want to find distilleries in the Highlands so I can do that as part of the day and then or 2 days. And then I drive to another part of Scotland, say the Lowlands or the Isle or the Skye part. Like there's lots of different areas. So I'm trying to like group them. And then I made a I would because
This is
I'm
impressively
I'm
well thought out
here
for
here's
five
a list.
years.
Um
Holy shit. I
yeah,
wish I
I have
wish our
19
listeners could see
distilleries,
this.
19 distilleries that I might want to hit, and some of them actually I've gotten from this podcast and the box, like Gervon would never have thought to do that one, but that was that breakfast scotch that I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a Deanston, was that toffee one, and the Co Isla was the super peaty one I really liked.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
don't
one. I've had that one
I
before.
don't know if I'll make it to that distillery because I've got to hit Lagavulin. I've got to hit Oban. I've got to hit Glenlivet and Macallan. And some of those like I need to make reservations for. And there's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a lot of planning that goes into this. Not necessarily this year, but like 3 years from now. I'm going to start like
Making
really
it.
making it happen. And so,
Okay, you did have Balvenie on there. Okay.
yeah, there's a bunch on here. And I'm going to have to narrow it down for sure. Like I'm not
Yeah.
going to hit 19 distilleries. If I can get like 12, awesome. 8 probably more likely. But like I'm going to try. I'm going to shoot for 12. So it'd be like a full 2 week excursion, not maybe 2 weeks, but like, you know, good solid 10-day, 12-day excursion.
I just rewatched that episode of
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec
Yep.
where she gives him and it's still one of my favorites of all time. We'll definitely do some sitting on
Some trains.
some trains and some cliffs.
Hmm.
Maybe do
Yeah.
some sheep herding.
And I
I
do
may never come
have
back from that trip.
you're right. And Jeff, if you are listening to this podcast in this episode, I know you're not actually close because you are at the southern tip of England. But if we're gonna be in Scotland, you better show up. You better be taking that week with us and just gallivanting around Scotland. Just saying.
Oh, if I do make it on this trip, which I would love to be a part of it, I would like to visit Edinburgh. That's
Yeah.
like one of my bucket list.
Yeah. I have distilleries around Edinburgh. Yeah, it would be we would hit the major cities, not necessarily for the distilleries, but for going to major city in
Hmm.
another country. And obviously, you're invited, Drew. Obviously, I'm gonna make it kind of open-ended and be like, this
Hey,
is
if you
my
want to
I
come,
this is my itinerary. If you want to follow me, come on.
where you lead, I will follow.
Follow.
And are you planning
You
on
don't
doing
like
this?
coffee bowls, so you're not a real Gilmore Girls fan.
I have coffee bowls. What are you planning on doing this around your birthday, or is there
Not
like just
necessarily.
thinking about a best time of year for it? Because I was also thinking the Edinburgh Comedy Festival
Yes.
also would be a thing to hit. If there were a time of year that would be best to do it, that would be fun.
I have
Because I feel like
no
we now have a lot of people who we follow who go to that.
yes, and I have no attachment to going around my birthday. Like I don't I my birthday's in March. I wouldn't want to wait until December, but if for whatever reason that was the comedy fest and that's what we wanted to do, or if that just happens to be the best time of year to go, sure. But like
Mhm.
I don't need to be in Scotland for my actual birthday.
I feel like hitting some of those distilleries is probably harder in the winter months, especially the Isla and
You
Isle of
mean
Skye
physically
ones,
harder because it's like
physically because
yeah,
it's
difficult to
snowed
travel.
in
Yeah.
as fuck.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, be interesting. I mean, we got 5 years
Exactly. I'm
ish.
planning it now. I've got some people I can lean on if I've got questions, so it's gonna happen. I'm gonna what's the word? I'm going to make it happen by thinking it. What's the word? What's the word? Manifest it. That's the word. I'm
Manifest
gonna
it. There we
manifest
go.
it.
There we
Yep,
go.
it's gonna happen. And that's gonna be my 40th birthday, and we'll go from there. What are you working on? That's my little
I
shtick.
I don't want to say too much
Ooh.
about it
Ooh.
because really it's going to depend on
What's
where
her
I'm
name?
at financially in five
Oh.
years. And I will also say that it involves a map,
Mm.
and that's all you get.
Are we doing El Dorado?
That's all you get for now.
Okay. And now here's the idea. I have it. I think I got it. I'm thinking brain caps on. We're having a brain blast, Jimmy Neutroning it right now. We all turn, except for Ben. Ben's from another generation.
He's a boomer.
He's a boomer for sure. Myself, you, and Rick, at least, and Danny, if Danny
Also
has the
true.
means, we all turn 40 in the same year. I think we
Correct.
take the whole year off and just go gallivanting
I'm
for the year.
100% not
And
opposed. Just
Rebecca also turns 40 that year.
back to back to back birthdays,
Hmm.
and we just go from one to the other. Your mom and her mom are fine watching the kids
Yeah, that'll be
for a whole
fine.
year, right? Yeah.
The other thought I had, oh, so here's what, because Rebecca doesn't listen to this, but so 5 years from now, I have to start saving up for this because one, I want to do my Scotland trip, and two, for her 40th, she doesn't know this yet. I would love to take her to Dollywood. That's all she wants. She wants to stay
That's
in the,
all she wants for her 40th birthday.
well, she doesn't, she wants that in general,
Okay.
but she wants to stay in the pink hotel room where
Mhm.
everything is pink and like we'll get the suite because it's not apparently it's not cheap.
No.
It's like five, six, 700 a night minimum, and it's like and you have to have like a 3 night minimum. It's like God, okay, so just staying there is 2 grand.
Hmm.
So from there, I don't know what else is happening, but in my head, I'm like, all right, I've got to spend. in my
It's a lot.
head,
Yeah.
I'm
It's a
budgeting 5 grand for this. I hope it's not 5 grand,
yeah,
but like in my head, if it's under 5 grand, I'll be able to rationalize it. So
somewhere around there. I will say that's what our next family trip is for next
nice.
summer. Because I think all the kids will be old enough for it. So like we just booked our cabin and everything. So if you guys wanted to make us per the moment trip,
I mean, maybe, but
we'll
you
do
said
Dollywood at least.
cabin.
We did like a Airbnb that can fit
Got it.
5 adults and 4 children.
No, she wants to stay at the hotel, the one in Nashville. That she doesn't care about the rest of the resort necessarily. She just wants to have the room. She does, but she doesn't. Like she wants to be Dolly Parton for 2 to 3 days.
That's fair.
Yeah. Hey, live your truth.
That's right.
That's what this whole
She's
podcast
a
is about.
wonderful lady.
She is. And if she doesn't ever hear that from me, she does all the time. But if she doesn't, she can just listen to this episode over and over.
I was talking about Dolly Parton, but yes, also your
Oh,
wife.
yeah. Well, Dolly could listen to this episode too.
I'll send some
Maybe.
people. Who knows?
Maybe. I don't know. We have the
She
technology.
got people out there searching the internet.
Yep. It was we at the time of recording this, we just had New Year's, so happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's. It is 2025.
Do you
That's
have
weird.
any
Ooh, New Year's resolutions.
resolutions or this is good? This is good.
But this is good. I like this, but I also don't like this because I feel like last year we canceled New Year's resolutions.
Did we?
It's something like that. We either got rid of them or just thought they were
Or it was on the
stupid.
docket?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was.
There
Yeah,
was
yeah.
an episode where we had something. Let me see. I have that one
Oh
actually. I'm
God. No,
sure.
yeah, yeah, you're right.
But what was the
They
actual
all kind of
topic?
run.
I have the hardest time when everyone's like, "Oh, what's your podcast about?" And I give them the quick elevator pitch. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, what topics do you have?" And I'm like,
Ah,
I have the
the also
three I go to, and that's
I
the
had
only three I
somebody
can
the
ever
other
remember.
I had somebody the other day ask me about it and they were like, "Oh, can you like give me a couple episodes where I should start? Like what are the best episodes out of the whole thing?" And I was like, I it really depends on what you like. Like go
Yeah,
through, read the descriptions, and there are some that are better than you tell me what you want to listen to. I'll tell you if it's a better one than some of the others. How about
yeah.
that?
We definitely have some episodes that are better than others. That is
I
for sure.
remember for the resolutions thing, I remember talking about it.
Okay, so it looks like
It was like,
back in episode 49, it was what is the worst New Year's resolution as we had.
yes, 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 yes.
So we didn't cancel resolutions as a whole. We just determined what the worst one was. Couldn't tell you what it was.
No, we talked about like going to the gym and losing weight.
Yeah, we hit all of the.
Um, like the major ones.
Mhm,
Man, that was so long ago now at this point.
mhm.
I do need to go back and listen to that one.
My I will tell you my. It's not necessarily a New Year's resolution because I think part of what we were talking about in that episode was your resolutions shouldn't start on New Year's. Like you should start it whenever. But
Hmm.
like New Year's could also be a benchmark. It can be like a catalyst. So we understand that. 20 pounds, 15 to 20 pounds, somewhere in that general range is what I'm going for over the next 3 months, maybe four, because we are I'm going on a couple of trips here very shortly, and the month of January, I won't be able to actually be in my routine, is probably a good way to put it. But I will say, when I get back from said trips, I'm going to hit the gym more, which I have lost. I don't know if I mentioned it on air, but I've lost at least 20 pounds over the last
Good
couple
for you.
months. And I wanted to do that before I started hitting the gym. One, to have the routine, and two, it's so much easier to work out when you're a little bit lighter.
Also true.
Like if especially if I'm going for, fat loss in the end of the day, being 20 having to not carry 20 pounds additional, so much easier. So as long as I can carry that weight loss through the next, we'll say, 3 weeks, I'll be able to hit the gym Not hard. Don't need to do anything crazy, but just to,
Yeah.
keep myself
Get
from
into a
plateauing, you know.
routine of,
Yeah. And then if I can get down to, we'll say 180-ish, then maybe I might make the decision to do a healthy bulk and put on some muscle and get back up to two. I can play around with it at that point, but I need to get back down to about 180 before I make any other decision. So, to answer your question, New Year's resolution, 20 pounds. What about you?
I like that. I have a similar one because I too, due to reasons, have not been going to the gym. But going back to the gym is a big one, and getting into that routine at least 3 times a week, and if not, doing something active every day.
Yeah.
I mean, my job is fairly active. I'm in the car a lot, but I do walk a lot also. So just having like some kind of benchmark milestone of physical activity, but purposeful physical activity. So yeah, I would like to be around that 180 mark
Yeah.
to come spring, summer ish,
Beginning of summer.
beginning of summer. I gotta get bikini ready.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
I just bought a bunch of speedos for myself for Christmas, and I need
So
to be
many,
able to
so many
fit
new
into them.
thongs to try on.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, that's always a good one, and I'm gonna laugh if I go back and listen to that episode, and this is the one that we said was the worst.
This
But yeah,
isn't.
just
This is not the worst. I can already tell you that.
no. But also for me, and just to touch on a little bit, I feel like nowadays the physical is so tied to the mental
Yep.
health
Yep.
aspect and vice versa that I can, more than any other time in my life, I can tell the difference when I haven't been active as to when I have, and just like the different hormones and things that it releases that are really good for
Hmm.
your mental health. So that's probably my second one, is just to continue on with good mental health practices and figuring out what that looks like
Yep.
in the crazy world that we're in. So yeah, I think those are really my two, is physical and mental health in intention towards better physical and mental health. I don't really have a specific goal, but just overall trying to be a little more healthy in all of those aspects. And we're back.
And we're back.
It's time
Uh,
for thoughts for your thoughts. I'm Derry Marbles.
I have another thing I need to rant about.
Go for
What the hell happened, UGA? Fuck, fuck you guys.
it. Every honestly, that game and the Oregon game, those are the only two I watched. And obviously, you know more about college football than I do. But seriously, what the fuck? It was like everyone was sleeping,
Every single first round
and I
bye team, the top four seeds all lost.
yeah, and part of me kind of understands in Georgia's case. You know, you've got an untested first game ever quarterback, right? Like first college football start ever in a playoff situation against a good team. Like
Good.
none
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
teams
Not
were
taking anything away from Notre
bad.
Dame. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just watching that, it felt like every single lower seed had something to prove, and they fucking proved it.
Yeah, it's
Um,
all it's 5 through 8 made it. So they
yeah,
all there were no upsets, I think if I'm remembering correctly, there were no upsets in the first round and there were all upsets in the second round in terms of the seeding.
it was
So it's like
nuts.
what that's part A. Part B is no blocking, no we'll say creativity or all vanilla offensive game plan, and then no tackling. Like I am not. I do not have the ability to tackle a 220-pound running back running at 14 miles an hour. I can't do it, but I know that, and so I sit my ass on my couch and I watch other people do it.
And you
But
yell
if
at the
you're
screen.
yeah, and I yell at the screen. But if you're gonna sign up to do that, you need to do it, or come with me and yell at other people about it. Like pick one. You can't just go out there and just bullshit your way through. So I'm calling for, and I know this is not an original thought, get rid of our offensive coordinator. Never liked Mike Bobo. Get rid of our whoever our
Nobody
offensive
does.
line coach is because we couldn't
Didn't
block.
they bring Mike Bobo back?
Yes, and
That was
I
a whole
I
thing.
firmly believe that Mark Richt would have had at least one championship if it wasn't for Mike Bobo. I think it was Mike Bobo's fault
Just
that
gonna have
Mark.
to agree with you on that one because I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. Because I'm not saying Mark Richt was like the best coach ever by any means. He was a really good coach. He wasn't Saban level. He wasn't Mark, or he wasn't Kirby Smart level. He wasn't the Clemson coach in his heyday level. Like he was a really good coach, had amazing talent for 2 years and couldn't get it done because Mike Bobo couldn't put together anything creative. What couldn't doesn't know how to use the talent he has around him is just very vanilla, predictable, and just stupid. And so fire Mike Bobo, fire the offensive line coach, fire whoever's in charge of tackling. Like it was a piss poor excuse, and it's been like that all year. I'm ready to give out this one game, but it was
Yeah,
evident
it's been the whole season.
all year. And Carson Beck, like I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. He had some really terrible moments, but was able to come back and win. He's like a B plus quarterback. And we got 11 wins. That's what we deserved. We came back and fought tooth and nail to get those 11 wins. But like, man, if we had had good blocking, even just fix one of those things,
Hmm.
give either better play calling, better blocking, or better tackling, we probably would have gone undefeated this year. Fix one of those things, and we would be in at least to the next round. We would have beaten Notre Dame. I'm not saying the players are not at fault either, but like it starts with the coaches, and it was evident all year. So
Yeah.
and drop passes to whoever is in charge of the wide receiver group. You're fired too. That's my rant. I'm gonna
Well,
look up all these names, but
who do you think is going to replace Carson Beck full time now? Because I think he declared for the draft, didn't he?
I believe so. I don't. I think he did, but also I know he got that injury. So and he has another year of eligibility if he wants it
Yeah.
because of COVID.
I saw
Um,
one thing that said he was going to the Texans.
I mean, it's possible. It's he shouldn't wait. No, no, no. He can't go to the Texans. They've got the Ohio State quarterback from last year. If they want a B plus backup, yeah, Carson Beck makes sense. I think had it not been for the injury, Carson Beck would have been the fourth quarterback off the board and taken in the top 12 because there's some team that won too many games but desperately needs a quarterback like the Giants. And they're like, ah, shit, all the other quarterbacks are gone. We have to get back before someone else
This
grabs
will
them.
take back, damn it.
Right. Now that he has the injury, he'll probably drop to the third round. And someone's going to get a really good backup for a third, fourth round pick, which is where
Hmm.
he honestly probably should be. And I've always said the best job in the NFL is the backup quarterback for a really, 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 really good quarterback.
And he'll probably get some playtime next like year if he gets drafted. I mean, depending on who he goes to,
Well, that's why, like, I,
he'll probably get at least one start. Would be my guess.
I
And
mean, it depends. If he goes to say like Buffalo and backs up Josh Allen, he's not going to see the field. You
Depends
know,
on how injury prone
right?
whoever
Josh Allen is not.
whoever's yes.
Relatively not injury prone. I'm sure there's been a time where he's been injury prone, but for the most part, he's on the field. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes. Same thing with um, Lamar Jackson is a little injury prone, but like overall on paper, he's actually not that injury prone. Anyway, yeah, he'll make a great backup, and I think that makes sense for him. As for the starter, I think Gunner has the fast track to the position. He showed, I think, in the game and a half that he played that he has a lot of the tools to be a starting quarterback in the SEC. I think that he needs to obviously clean up some stuff and mature a little bit, but like, of course he does. He's played a game and a half. So I think he's on track to where he needs to be if he were to get the position. I wouldn't be shocked if they grab a quarterback in the transfer portal. I don't necessarily think it has to be a super high profile 5-star guy, but like they're going to go get someone to compete with him.
Somebody.
I think we have a guy that is a redshirt freshman in the wings. I couldn't tell you. I don't
There,
follow like I used
yeah,
to.
there is a third.
Yeah.
There is a third, and I think you're right. I think he's, I mean, completely untested. But
UGA, QB room. Yeah, I mean, well, because Carson Beck had it locked down for 2 years. So, and it makes sense.
and they thought
So,
he was going for his sixth. So
potentially. So, yeah. 125 Georgia Bulldog football depth chart. Ryan Pugsley and Jaden Rashada. Ryan Pugsley is a freshman. So I assume he will challenge Gunner for that starting position as well as whatever portal player they bring in. We have Jaden Rashada, who's a redshirt freshman. I don't. He's third string, so I don't. I don't know anything about him off the top of my head. So yeah. By the way, did you see all of the shit that Parker Jones was getting? Can we talk about that?
for the ref thing,
Yeah.
yes,
So I have
a
to
little bit. I don't. I was like watching the game, but not really watching the game. And
I'm gonna.
again, obviously, you care a
What?
hundred times more about this than I do.
Are you sure? Let me bring it up because some of these were fucking hilarious. So essentially, for those of you who didn't see the game, Parker Jones is a um inactive fifth string cornerback that plays for UGA. And there was a really big catch of like 50, 60 yards. And as the receiver was running down the sideline, he was celebrating in the white area where it's like supposed to be just for coaches. And as he was doing that, the referee ran into him, blocking the referee, which is referee interference, which is a 15-yard penalty, which is why the 50-yard gain turned into like a 35-yard gain. So instead of
Hold
being at
on.
the
Yeah, I'm
six, we
watching
were
it.
at
I'm
like the
watching it right
12.
now.
It was bad. It was bad.
I mean, the ref clocked him
Yeah.
with his elbow.
But the shit that people gave him for all of this, the number of I'm looking at a parody account, so it was just some guy who changed his name to Parker Jones. It was so hilarious.
Did you see while you're looking at that that guy from the Razorbacks
I know.
that stepped on the other guy's ankle?
I believe it. I
And
don't
like
know what
he
you're
was
talking about
the
though.
play was over, everyone's getting out of the scrum, and the dude like deliberately steps on his ankle and you can
Mm,
see it like crack.
God,
Um
that's awful.
and everyone's calling for him to, I mean, he should never play football again. It was like you in the video you can see how deliberate it was. Like guy's foot was sticking out, guy walked over to him, stepped on his ankle and just like bent it the wrong way.
No, I did not see that. What else? Anything? Thoughts?
A few
Uh,
thoughts. What are your thoughts on postseason NFL?
I'm wearing my Falcons hoodie because we have one game
We
left.
technically still have a chance.
We are mathematically still alive.
Mathematically, we have to win, and Buccaneers have to
That is correct. Suck
lose.
it, Ben. I can say that because Ben's a friend of mine, but he's also a
Hey, my
Buccaneers
team's still
fan.
in the running too.
Are they?
Yeah, we got to win. We just have to win. We don't have to win and somebody else lose.
That's a nice position to be in.
First time in 7 years.
That's about, I think the Falcons are 7, 8 years out of the playoffs,
Yeah.
give or take. Yeah, I mean, we don't deserve anything except a first round loss in the playoff, but like, I would like to get to the playoffs. That would be cool.
Yeah. Be funny.
But also that would mean Terry Fontenot keeps his job, and I don't like that. It also means Raheem Morris. I don't think Raheem Morris would get fired this year by any means because it's his first actual year as a head coach. But I've said, I don't know if I said it on this podcast, but I said when he got hired, he's a he's a player's coach. I'm making too much noise. He's a player's coach, and he's good at like the general operations. But when it comes to winning, Raheem Morris is not a winner. And that's been prevalent in all of his clock management, knowing how to get the best out of a lot of his players. Like I just don't think, and I know this is not his first head coaching gig either. He had, an interim stint here, and then he went to the Buccaneers and went like 2-18 or whatever, some terrible record. Before he went to the Rams. Yep, the Rams as their defensive coordinator did really well, but you have to do really well when Aaron Donald is your defensive tackle. Like, I just think he's not a winning football coach, and that's fine. He's not saying he's a bad football coach. He's just not a winning football coach, and so part of me, as a guy who's team first, I want to see my team win and go on and be successful, but also at the same time, I would kind of want to see our GM get fired and maybe potentially our head coach get fired at some point. So those are my thoughts. I do want to do one thing. I want to try this before we can
Oh God, Broncos have to win against the Chiefs. That's who we have to win against. So
Yeah, but they should be sitting everyone. They've locked up the first round bye.
for sure, yeah. And we've
So
almost beat them this season already. So
everyone has almost beat them. They're not a good team. They
no.
just have a really stout defense. But anyway, um, so I bought a game. We're gonna do this real quick. We're gonna end with this. It's gonna be the end. I bought a Would You Rather game.
Yes.
It's either no, like on the cover, if it says Would You Rather, and the cover says no toilet paper or sandpaper as toilet paper. So this should be a lot better than the other one that I had. So we're gonna just like take three of these, and we're gonna see how they work before we test this in a regular episode. So, Drew, would you rather consistently feel like someone is blowing on your neck, or consistently feel like your phone is vibrating in your pocket?
Oh man.
I like that. That's subtle.
That's a I'm gonna say blowing on my neck.
Okay, okay, okay. Hold on one second.
Feel like I could get used to that, whereas I just work and life is very
Yeah, sometimes that might be welcoming.
like always need to check my phone.
So this is a positive one. I like this. Okay, so just so you know, this one, if we ever want to play this like in person, there's like a spinner thing, and some of them are go deep, love, epic, visual, and cursed. So depending on what you spin, is
Interesting.
matches which one you read on the card. So this is a epic one. So I guess this is a good thing. Would you rather never call someone by the wrong name, so you always get everyone's name right, or would you rather never send a message to the wrong person?
Ooh, I am terrible with names, so I
Yep,
would take the name,
same.
and I'm very careful about texting.
Yep, 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 yep. This next,
years and years of drinking has conditioned me to make sure that I'm sending messages to the right person.
there's even like tokens for like points and something. I don't. So there's like a whole shtick to this. So I don't know what it is, but we'll figure it
Start
out.
our own start our own games channel.
Yep. We're gonna do all four of these because there's just two more. Would you rather date someone who's a hoarder of bobbleheads or date someone who's a hoarder of board games?
Board games for sure.
Board games.
Yeah.
Last one. Would you rather know all of the details of your partner's infidelity or never know they cheated?
All of the details. Yeah, for sure.
I'm that's a tough one because that's assuming your partner did cheat, right?
Yeah.
But like, what if your partner does? So that means my wife has to cheat. In order for that to be true, either one of those, my wife has to cheat on me.
Yeah. But that's the point of a hypothetical like
But
that.
yeah, I know.
Assuming the person has cheated on you, would you rather know all of the details or not know it all?
I don't know.
I would 100%, because at that point you are living a lie and the other person has all of the information with that lie.
Yeah, I'd probably want to know because then what I do about
You have
it,
to
I
make
don't
hard
know.
decisions
But
because of
I
that.
have the ability to make the decisions.
Yeah.
I have power at that point versus just
And then that
living.
means that person's living a lie the whole time too. So at that point, the relationship is ingenuine.
Yep.
Whereas if you had all of the
Yep.
information, you can move forward one way or the other.
You're right. You're right. Okay. I like this one. This is infinitely better than whatever. I don't even know where the other one is. But do you
Throw a link
remember?
in the description on that one, Travis.
I will. We're not sponsored by them,
We're not, but I
but we
like
should
good
be. I mean,
products.
what? We're not sponsored yet. Anyway, this has been an episode of Day Drinking. Thank you for joining.
We're day
Day
drinking.
Drinking. We just did this off the cuff. We didn't think about anything.
Yeah,
We just
that was
went
good.
for it. We just sent it.
We covered a lot of subjects.
We went, yeah. It was great. Follow us on the socials at _bar banter. New episodes every Wednesday. Like and subscribe. There's a link. There's a link. There's a link. There's a link in the description to contribute to our grassroots marketing campaigns as well as our bar tab. So any funds there would be greatly appreciated. And just remember that this is our podcast and you're just along for the ride.
I think it
Burgundy?
went so well because there were no segues to really.
Shut your whore mouth.
Um...
Day drinking.